Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? What's going on? I know it's crazy. I've done 3 live streams this week. Holy cow. I think I've gotten back into my groove a little bit here, so I'm happy. I know I had it scheduled for a little bit later on, but I didn't know how long I needed to like really set up here, just getting off of work and all that good stuff. And as you guys are sliding on in, don't forget to smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Yo! So let's go ahead and dive right on into things as you guys are, as I'm waiting for everybody to come rolling on in. Yo! So we've got Bitcoin sitting there kind of holding that $66,000 Bitcoin. Definitely had a significant drop in prices. Just a complete, just utter train wreck sliding back down. But we've been sitting here trading it with inside of this little volume section here for a little bit now. So is it going to be able to hold? Are we going to truly break down from here? It's really hard to 100% say so. You know, is there more room to break down? Of course. Of course. I've been telling people to be weary of the extreme rises. And realistically, when we look at the blown out picture on this through TradingView, you can see that starting from October all the way to now, we've been in a bull cycle. This has been a complete bull cycle. And we've put in a much higher high than the last previous. So we've had a triple top this cycle. First time in Bitcoin history. I mean, we have broken ground. And even when you're looking at it, the trade volumes are still there. It looks like we should be pretty much breaking down a little bit more. We are in oversold territory. I mean, realistically, guys, $40,000 Bitcoin should be where we should have hung out over there for a little longer. That's just my opinion. Now, are we going to sit there and see more sell-off pressure here? Hard to say. Hard to say. You know that there was some big players that came through and sold. These are going to be people that held on at, 68,000 the last time. So these are people that have bought during the last cycle that are getting out now. Because they're like, oh my God, I didn't lose my money. I'm done. I'm not going to play with fire no more. I learned my lesson. Those people are now getting out. The people that just couldn't hold on to it like that, didn't understand the fundamentals of why they're investing in the first place, whether it be gold, silver, or that sweet and busy Bitcoin. It does not matter what it is that you are investing in over time. If you don't understand what you're investing in and why, you're going to come up into situations where you're like either break even or making slight profit, and you're like done. And you're like, you've only held on for a year. Your time frame is really short. People with short time frames, those are going to be your swing traders. Those are going to be your penny stocks, altcoins, people who were those areas. Like in traditional finance, you have penny stocks. Those are startup companies. You throw a couple of bucks at them, it's like gambling. Maybe in a year or two it'll double. You'll be able to get cash out, and see if you can rinse and repeat. Most of the time you're throwing money away. But it's the same thing with altcoins. They're just like penny stocks. They're on a short time frame. Some of them will do pretty good, and if you can catch it just right, you make profit. But it is a short time frame versus Bitcoin, gold, or silver. Those are long-term plays. And a lot of people need to realize that you're hitting a cycle that just did a historic triple top. Um, that tells me that the market has much more to give, much more to give. This was just the market testing out the waters for getting up into this territory of breaking $70,000 Bitcoin. I mean, look at the people that bought it at sub dollar Bitcoin. And these people are going, holy crap, this is a life-changing event for them. And the longer you hold on, the more of a life-changing event it can potentially become. Not financial advice, of course. What's up, Sadie? What's up? So watching a lot of these traditional hey, what's up, 306 miner? Let's go. That's right. So I look at this market here as a way to shake out the weak hands. Let these people sell off their Bitcoin. We'll scoop it up at a discount. And then in a couple of years, those same people that sold and broke even are going to be like, damn it, I just should have held on a little bit longer. It's like, since 2016, mining as a hobby, I've benefited about 70K. I know you shouldn't put that out there, but hang out with the FA people and you get the tax money back. I can't complain. Hell yeah, that's true. I mean, I've watched the historic rise. I'm in the 2018 game, What's up, Dan the Dane? How are you? We are doing great over here, Dan the Danger. Been following you on the Twitters. I've been seeing your posts. Be careful out there, bro. It's like with the market the way that it is, we all have to kind of pick and choose how we're going to be doing some of our trading. If you dabble in the trading at all, I do a little bit, not a whole lot, guys. I'll not a whole lot. It's more like this market. I'm probably going to hedge some of my stuff into Tether at this point and see where the market wants to return to from this point. Just kind of hold that value into Tether. It's like you got to sit there and kind of protect it. If the market gets unsteady, you put it in the areas. Now, I have my HODL wallet. That doesn't get touched. It doesn't even matter. But I have some coinage on the exchange. I know I tell all you guys not to do that, but it's stuff that I'm willing to lose, right? So, it's like I'm sitting here going to probably go into Tether with all of those gains and sit there and hold tight. And then when everything kind of starts bottoming out and stops and it finds a full bottom, oh man, I'll be right back into it, and I'll be way miles and miles ahead. It's like I'm at 104%. Nice. That is true tech, man. A true warrior, Dana Dane is. Living life. A little rough here. Facts. You be safe out there, bro. Be effing safe. 100%. and talking about safe, be safe with your profits. If you got it in a HODL wallet, cool. If you're on exchanges, this might be the market you want to maybe look at holding into an asset that's going to actually hold its value. And unfortunately, for me, that's Tether. It's the least volatile, pegged to $1, stable coin. It's what it's doing. Like, holy shit, Caspa Solo is dead. Yeah, for at-home GPU miners, yeah. Duh. There's no way you're competing against all the ASIC power that's out there. You are being dominated by ASIC. There's absolutely no reason to be doing, like, I would almost sit there and, like, if the returns on Caspa is good for GPU mining, then cool. I haven't participated in it. But if it's not good enough to be GPU mining at this point because there's so much ASIC cache power on there, I don't even know why anybody points at home rigs at it at that point. So, yeah. Oh, Sadie wants to mail you something. Ooh. Mail him something with some good juju all over it. So, yeah, I mean, this is just kind of like a little shaky market. You know, you see a top, it starts to drop. You see a fake out double top. It usually rolls over from here, guys. I'm not trying to say that I'm a guru, but I would expect this thing to roll over a little harder than where it's at right now. Like I said, I do not put off the table like a $45,000 Bitcoin right now. I'm not. It will not be off of my table. Will we? Could we possibly see lower? Hey, can. Cat's playing with stuff. That's for my wife. But yeah, I mean. Uh-oh. He can't get mail where he's at. Don't. So, I mean, you just got to be, you know, it's like careful where it could be at. I'm not saying I'm a guru, like I was saying, but this is usually the point where I see it roll over, and it could roll over a little bit, or it's gonna roll over hard. How hard? Hard to say. Really is. There is Lemon Tree Gang. For sure, John Germain. So I mean, it could easily roll over from here. Do I think that we could see a $20,000 Bitcoin again? Oh yeah. There is no reason that we should not see another $20,000 Bitcoin. Are we going to go below 20,000? Probably not. We've pushed too high up onto the cycle here. I press button. There we go. At this point, we've blown into a territory where rolling over down to the $20,000 marker would put it just into oversold territory. That's all it would do to it. But not out of the extreme. We are in the extreme right now. We are heavily, I mean, where you want to be, like in the way that I have my charting set up here, a good healthy outreach for this would be like into the green sections here and just into this bluish green. So this is a good healthy range. We are well above a healthy range. So knowing that we're above the healthy range, it's easy to blast through that range and then find support at the $20,000 range. Could that bounce back up? Yeah. But we kind of need that to get some of the short positions and long positions kind of liquidated here. We need to see a big shift in the market, and that usually shows that the market's, you know, in terms of Bitcoin, doing pretty good. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. So, I mean, that's all the technical stuff that I guess I will do for today, guys. I mean, I guess, unless you guys like looking at the U.S. debt clock and how About every 100-ish days now, we put $1 trillion in the U.S. national debt. That one's a very special kind of wow. We don't even take in enough money to be able to start even scratching the dent on the interest of this. No problem, Sadie. I mean, I understand some of the charting a little bit here. I mean, I've played around with it off and on, and I'm pretty good about understanding, market cycles at this point. Once you've seen a good market cycle happen a couple of times, you start understanding some of the characteristics when you're paying attention to it over time. Like I said, I don't see myself as a guru. It's just stuff that I've looked at, and 9 times out of 10, it's been correct. You're never going to predict the absolute bottom, but you can sit there and be like, okay, with the way that the market is right now, it's definitely is going to be sliding down a little bit further. So, how far down, nobody will ever know. There's no guru out there. I mean, there's people who are going to take educated guesses going, hey, if you've got some insider track with some of the bigger people with money, maybe you know some people that are sitting off to the side ready to kind of unleash some money down. Cool. Maybe you might have a little bit of a better accuracy with your call outs from time to time. But most of the time, you're just going to be seeing it and you'll be like, oh, this pattern is showing that it's going to go down. How far down? Yeah. Don't know, don't care. I just want to know if it's on sale or not. I want my discount for Busy Bitcoin. I don't know about you. That's all I'm paying attention to on it. Going, how good of a discount am I going to get for my next Satoshi? Don't even bother with the U.S. debt clock anymore. It's an obscene item our Congress fails to pay attention to. Facts. I believe somewhere down the line, somewhere in Congress is actually paying attention to it, but they're like, in for a penny, in for a pound. We can't stop the Ponzi at this point. There's no way to stop the Ponzi. No way. But here we got some GPU stuff. Ooh. We got MSI launching the Gaming Duke, its first triple fan 4060 model. Yo, I didn't even think this thing would ever need a triple fan on there, but I guess the Gaming Duke needs one. This one's going to be earmarked for the Chinese region. Probably not for China itself. Since they've already sat there and banned the 4090D. I don't know if they would allow the 4060 to be actually sold within China unless it's cut down far enough that it's not even worth using for AI development, right? I mean, I keep telling people, China wants something, you can get it through other markets. Hey, yo, Dan the Dane with the dono. Thank you, my dude. You rock. Thank you. So, right. FA in the chat for Dan the Dane. Because he's freaking awesome. He's just really freaking awesome. It's like, I am out. Take care, my dude. Everybody drop some FAs in chat for Dan the Dane. Because he's awesome like that. Be safe out there, my dude. It's like, you'll be in our prayers. Keep your head on a swivel. And may your aim be true. And may the angels be looking over your shoulder. Thank you, my dude. Oh my God. Dan the Dane with the big donos for today. Yo! May you stay in one step in front of the devil and have the angel guiding your back. Peace out, my dude. Well, let's get back into it. So, we've got the Gaming Duke that's going to be sold mostly in the Chinese market. So, if you were a Gaming Duke fan, which is going to have some of the basis on the from the Supreme series, but has less incentive to add more versions, unfortunately. So, I don't know if we're going to see too many Gaming Dukes. Well, you'll have to see on that one. I know that the Gaming Dukes, or the Supreme X's are going to be more of your high-end bin chips through them, which they perform very well. They use a little bit more power from time to time, depending on what kind of workload you got going on it. But you're going to get the benefit from having that. And with the way that the Gaming Duke or the Supreme X versions were utilized in the past, was that they had an amazing cooler on there for the heat dissipation that those things can actually put out. So awesome. I really hope that they do come out with more variations on there going into the 4090 series, which would be great, but there's no forecast for the future on that one, on which, if they're going to be doing any more of these. These are limited runs, guys, so kind of keep that in mind. And for any of you Intel lovers out there, here's one for you guys. ASRock unveils the Z790i and the B760i with a Lightning Wi-Fi motherboards, DDR5, support for extreme overdrive power. These have a very good power phase on there. We got a 14 plus 1 plus 1, which basically it's 14 power rails for the chipset itself, and then the each one of the plus ones is for like PCIe performance. So your graphics card, M.2s being plugged into the motherboard, this kind of stuff. So it's going to help supply the power to those rails. But it's got 14 power rails going to the chip, which that's actually a very good stable amount of power going to it. You're going to be able to deliver a high amount of power. So I mean, I know some of these chipsets are getting into that 300 watt format. So I mean, like, this should be able to handle it. Now, if you're doing extreme overclocking, of course, you're going to have more fans blowing on everything to kind of help keep all the VRM, the VRM rail power rails cool. So just kind of know that it's going to allow you to do a lot more with stable power. Stable power also helps out with just the chip performance overall. Like my Threadripper, right? I think it's an 8x2 power rail on there. So I've got 2 power rails for all of my PCIe rails. I have 2 power rails for that, and then I have 8 power rails just for the CPU itself. But the CPU only uses at most 190 watts. That's kind of end of the world. 190 watts on that big of a monolithic die for a chipset is a lot of heat, and it becomes unstable with the power. At least on with the Threadripper lineup. But for like Intel and AMD's normal chips, these kind of power, being able to use this kind of power, not a problem. A lot of times what you'll have a problem with is if you're running into higher heat loads, that you may have board temperature heat problems where the pins, like the board will kind of flex a little bit, and maybe the pinout will kind of lift away as everything kind of expands with heat, and you might lose a pinout on your CPU, causing a little instability and crashes. That's why they have, like on some of these motherboards, they've got pressure plates that they have you swap out because you're trying to smash these chipsets into the board as hard as you can to keep the pins all connected at all times, because they are pushing the wattage, guys, in a very small amount of area, and it could cause thermal expansion, which can cause connection separation. Not that it's going to break anything, it's just connection separation. It's just instabilities. You got to figure out the pressure contacts that you need to get everything working the way that you're trying to run it. So, very cool. You'll be able to have some pretty good stable overclockings with this. So, what is this going to be good for? Of course, not Monero mining. This is poo-poo on Monero mining. So don't even try to get this. This is basically for people who are running Intel that are looking for gaming performance and work performance. It's like Intel does do good with full workload performances. AMD in certain circumstances does a little bit better with like workflow stuff. But it's not like it's incapable of being done on Intel lineup. But it is going to be better optimized for a lot of your modern gaming. Not a lot of games out there are realistically utilizing a lot of the cores, because they've got to basically write their software to be able to hand off to each one of the cores. So and a lot of them, it's just easier to just hand it off to one single core. We'll let that thing do its job, and wherever your bottleneck is where your bottleneck is. So AMD doesn't always benefit with some of the gaming performance because of the way that the game developers have always been developing games. And I'm not blaming the game developers. It's easier for them to make a quality game with single core performance in mind. And unfortunately, that's going to be optimized for Intel. That's Intel's playground. Intel's been starting to slowly come around over the years to multi-core performance, which has opened up a lot of performance for them in a lot of different areas. But a lot of game developers are still developing kind of more heavily handed on single core performance up to about quad core performance, where they're using 4 cores. A lot of times it's just a lot of nonsense coding trying to hand it off to a lot of cores, and it'll introduce some latency. That's the last thing a professional gamer wants. So fortunately, AMD has never really been optimized CPU wise for gaming. And here I am, I'm still running Threadripper. I prefer my Threadripper because of the workload performance that it gives me. So for mine, I'll take the trade-off of a little less gaming performance through the CPU, knowing that my workload stuff happens really quick. And we got the wifey. Hey, baby. We have food. Awesome, awesome. It's like, I think it's clogged going through now. Yeah. We live at a little bit of a bottom of a valley area. Not horrible, but You get a lot of rain in a couple of days and it all pools up at the bottom of our driveway, and it's been having water on it for a couple of days. Definitely not wanting to go down. So it's either plugged up somewhere, or the retention is like full. Sadie says, hey. She says, hey, hey, hey. Oh, Sadie's like, hashtag cats of crypto. Tuckman's like, I missed my kitty. Yeah, they are cute and cuddly. Cute and cuddly. Talking about AMD stuff, guys. ROCM drivers. This is their open source drivers, guys, that has the Radeon software baked Radeon in it. This is the Radeon Open Compute Platform M. The software stack provides an APU for the GPU programmers that support various computing algorithms for HPC, AI, and OpenCL. The interests in the ROCM drivers have grown substantially in the last year due to the growth and popularity of generative AI. AMD has been adding more support for its ROCM platform, starting with the consumer-grade Radeon RX 7900 XT and the XTX. And later will be the Golden Rabbit Edition. So it's nice to see that the open source software is still being built upon. Now, there's some caveats to this. Your board has to be able to support this to really get the benefit of the ROCM drivers. And it does not work very well. You don't get all the performance that you're looking for if you have it plugged into a riser. Now, the ROCM drivers will still work. You'll still be able to get video. You'll still be able to mine on it. But you don't get all the performance until that GPU is actually slotted into the motherboard. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're running like Linux. You can even run it on Windows. I've tried both. I've done it both ways in Linux and in Windows. Interesting software, but I had to have it plugged in, and it had to support AEM or something like that. There was like something else that the chip had to be able to support for the whole mining aspect of it for the benefit. So there are benefits for the ROCM drivers because it's a little bit of more of a lightweight driver setup, and kind of tweaks the GPU in a different way, and you can get a slightly better performance. Where I tested it originally with the ROCM drivers was in with Grin. Grin benefited greatly from utilizing the ROCM drivers, but again, I had to have it plugged directly into the motherboard in order to see the benefits. Yes, that is true. The ROCM drivers actually is a lot better, but a lot of people don't understand how to download it, and to download that versus downloading it from AMD. Now, if it's a brand new driver, that ROCM drivers aren't going to have the support for it right off the bat, so you're stuck with using AMD's launch drivers and pray to God that everything works good. And then wait for ROCM to have support for your GPU, and then you just switch over. You do DDU while your computer's in safe mode, and it'll wipe it all off. Otherwise, you can use Revo Uninstaller, which is free software too, and that'll like wipe anything in the directory, any of the directories that hold on to any of the drivers. You'll be able to just purge it out. Yeah, AMD always messy drivers. I mean, it's a little better than what Intel launched with. I mean, by comparison, Intel made AMD look like their day one launches with their drivers were amazing. You know what's not really amazing in my and this is a personal preference, maybe biased, I guess. This is just me, okay? Just me. But the Hellhound from Power Color. Power Color, what the hell are you doing with this? You're gonna call something the Hellhound, and you're gonna make it big, bad, and scary with flowers on it? Are you kidding me? I get it, it's the Sakura edition. I get it, but not on the Hellhound lineup. It's like, it kind of just like kills the vibe on the card, you know. Pink fans, flowers. They turned the Hellhound into a girly card. You're looking for a girly card. You know, you're building for your girlfriend, your daughter. This is gonna be perfect for them. I mean, it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be your standard, you know, 7,800, but they're just gonna be a limited editions. You know, you're gonna pay a little bit of a premium to have them have the Sakura edition. Unicorn edition, yeah. Exactly. I mean, they might as well just call this the Unicorn. Get rid of the Hellhound and just stick a little horn on the Hellhound head and just call it a Unicorn. Call it a day. But they just kind of ruin the vibe on this one. I mean, they've the Red Devil edition. You know, it's like they've killed the look on the Red Devils too. I love the RX 580 Red Devil editions. Had a little pentagram on there, like little undercut of red onto it. It was just a very well done card. You can sit there and make your computer like it came from the pits of hell. You know, I mean, you could theme it out better. And then we can't do that. People are getting mad that we put a pentagram on here. We can't do that again. And they really just soften up the layout of the card, and it's just like now, you know, I'm not impressed with it. I mean, I used to love. I mean, it's like they're still a good card, but they've killed the overall look of me wanting to utilize that card in one of my builds. I am until block. Good luck, my dude. Good luck on that. And talk about good luck, man. Maybe your luck can turn around if you get the new PCIe 7.0 specifications. Will be released possibly next year, guys. A PCIe 7.0 specs. Now, this means nothing to us mining people. We still mine on 1.0. We don't need all the rest of the PCIe lanes. They're mostly useless to us. So, yeah. We won't really see much of a difference, but if you guys are always trying to get on the latest and greatest things, gotta have that new smelling build, right? Gotta have that new PC smell all the time, where it's like, you smell that like that first warming up of the plastic. So you know, it's like you're going to be seeing much better bandwidths being able to be achieved through your graphics cards. It'll help future graphics cards for gaming purposes, AI compute, all that stuff. A lot of times this stuff's going to get released in the data centers first. So once the data centers have been playing with the PCIe 7.0 specifications, we'll start seeing. I mean, we're still utilizing, you know, version PCIe 5.0 and 6.0, and we're not even really utilizing the full bandwidth of those PCIe rails already. And then you take us mining guys, we don't even care about 90% of the data that can go through those. Means nothing to us. So I don't. It's like when it comes out, we'll see if any of the new mining software actually tries to grab on to utilizing stuff like this. I would think this would help out specifically with people who are doing proof of useful work. Why? Because you need to have a minimum of a by 8 slot for your GPU. So you're already talking about the GPU's got to be slotted into a full registered PCIe rail, so it cannot be cut down. That makes me wonder. It's like, okay, if you got that, then can that actually be beneficial for the proof of useful work? Having a more efficient throughput, maybe. That'll be something that probably, as it comes out, people who are doing the mining software for proof of useful work will start integrating that stuff in, because that's just going to be a better robust security on there. And if they can utilize the full rails that people are putting into these newer machines. Hey, crypto paper route, bring back to the boring Bitcoin era. Yeah. Tech man, it's a gimmick. I just want to live long enough to see Vegas in October. Oh gosh. Nice. So, I mean, it'll have some pretty good throughput on this PCIe 7.0, delivering 128 gigatransfers per second raw data bit rate, and about 512 gigabytes a second bi-directional via bi-16 configuration, utilizing PAM4, which is pulse amplitude modulation with 4-level signaling, focused on the channel parameters reach. So it's just basically going to be everything that we've already been dealing with, but more efficient. So instead of being on a by 4 or a by 8, it's going to be on a by 16. And we're already, we only use by 1. My motherboard is by 4, and my graphics card would benefit from a by 8. So technically, my graphics card is being held back by my older motherboard. But man, I love my older motherboard. It's awesome. I love my Threadripper, and it's too expensive to get on 3rd gen. No, if I have to update, I will take one of my really good motherboards, and it's going to be a mini board. It'll look huge inside this case, but I will do it. Spicy happening we can hope for. Yes, I'm hoping that we get a nasty drop. Hey, what up, Jean? What's going on? What's up? Don't forget to smash that Lizzie like button, guys, as you're rolling on in here. Awesome people in here. Only a couple of likes smashed. And so, I mean, the new PCI gen stuff is going to look pretty spicy, I think. But we'll have to see. I mean, I will at some point in time have to upgrade, because my motherboard will eventually be holding back my graphics card. It hasn't yet, so thankfully, knock on wood, it hasn't done so yet. Talking about some updates real quick here. If you haven't done so in a while, you might want to. LOL has another update to the system. The automatic update system, they've decided to skip version numbers 1.85. The change refers to the 1.84. So it's supposed to be helping out with some dual mining with fish hash, dual mining codes. So it'll do fish hash, which is the fork of the fork of ironfish or something like that. Significant increase to ton and gram mining performance, supported on all AMD GPUs. Removed old fish hash testing code. LOL now accepting algo to be inputted in multiple times. The last occurrence will be the selected algorithm. So they do have some fixes out there, some efficiency upgrades onto it, so it is worth doing the upgrade, people. So if you haven't done so, definitely. If you're on like Monero, if you're on like Nice Hash, it should do it automatic. If you are on Hive OS, you'll have to go into there, and for each one of your miners, they'll have a little thing to update your rigs, and it'll update automatically from there. If you are mining on Windows or Linux, of course, you're going to have to come back up over to GitHub and manually download it, and then put your wallet address and your mining address back into it, yada, yada, yada. The same old stuff, right? So definitely want to do this. This was updated as of yesterday, guys. So definitely want to do that if you're looking for better efficiencies. Same thing with another one. If you guys have AMD CPUs, there is a version 6.21.2, which is the latest one. It has efficiency. So if you're mining on Monero Ocean, it'll help with the connectivity with the multiple algo switching that Monero Ocean does. They'll mine whatever's profitable and pay you out in Monero. Has some stuff for the Kapow release notes on there. So definitely have some bunch of updates on there. I'm going to have to do this for a bunch of my rigs. So if you guys are looking for the updates already compiled, like in Windows for you with zero dev fee, you're going to have to get into the Patreon links down below. I know, shameless shill, where I basically share with everybody the Monero miner with no dev fee attached. We're at home miners. The dev fee for me, I look at that as something that if you're a bigger mining facility, one, you already know how to do this. Two, you're going to allow a certain percentage of your rigs to go to a dev fee already. Not because you want to make sure that the devs are getting paid. But the devs are getting paid, they're going to keep doing updates. If the devs stop getting paid, there's no reason for them to keep updating the repository. So just kind of keep that in mind with everything, okay? And with that being said, I believe that should be everything that I was going to be going over today. It's like 50K would be a nasty bottom, but a nice one for those that bought at all-time highs. I with the way that I look at it, this is me, crypto paper route. You can see if you agree with me at all. We've had 4 consecutive days in a downward trend. It looks like it may be leveling off as of today, and this is where I was basically waiting for. It looks like it might have leveled off. Maybe. We're going to have to see here and see how this rolls for a couple of days. But it definitely just printed the next candle, and it looks like it printed a higher low and a lower high. So it's now going to start squeezing. This is not a good thing nor a bad thing, but it's gonna definitely promote movement. If it tries to find a bottom before the halvening, I've said it already. $20,000 Bitcoin is not off the table. It puts you in the oversold territory. So, I mean, seeing below 20,000, I don't think by if at all, not by much. It'll like wick down past 20,000 if we head towards 20,000. But at the same time, how many people would start just automatically buying in? Oh my god. Yes, 100%. I know it. This one's like putting, it's trying to put in like an upside down pennant flag. This one's going to be interesting. I mean, it definitely has the potential for a fourth all time high before the halving. We could do it, but at the same time, I'm thinking that we're going to be doing a squeeze, and then we're going to see a sell off, trying to make some of the liquidations happen. We haven't had a big liquidation event in a long time. And that's something that I'd be waiting for, is a liquidation event. We can get a liquidation event. I think that we can get up to that 80,000 no problem by the end of summer. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm no guru or anything like that. Everybody on the planet is looking at the same information I am. All you're doing is trying to input your data into it to try to guess what Bitcoin can do next. Considering that I see that we've put in the top, it broke to the downside. We are now putting in a fake out. This could be the dead cat bounce. And if it dead cat bounces on you, it's going to break down. So, but if it bounces like this, breaks out sideways, and finds like support right here, oh my god, that'll show that we can hold here. Then 80K is not off the table as the next move. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. With that being said, guys, I smell food, and it's making my mouth water. The wife's home. I think I'm gonna go spend some time with the wifey. So thank you everybody for being here. All that good stuff. Definitely smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. And with that being said, peace out. Stay savage. Drop those FAs in the Chizity chat, because you guys are rated F for frickin' awesome. 100% John Jermaine. Thank you everybody for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Yo.